Hello, Mallards. It is Friday. Is it Friday? Great, I'm getting nods. It's definitely Friday. Okay, so it is Friday, and I am at Orlando Fringe, and I've finished my second day, and I'm going to tell you about some of the amazing shows that I've seen. The War also opened tonight to an audience of 21 patrons. Well, 27, technically, if we count artist rushes, so it was very exciting, had a great time. I am sitting in front of a beautiful piece of art, Kusama Tribute No. 4, Love is Calling by Adrian H. Lee. Look at this beautiful piece. And I've chosen it to be the backdrop to talk about Swampily Ever After, a Shreksual burlesque show. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy burlesque, you should see this show. If you enjoy Shrek, you should see this show. If you don't know how you feel about either of those things, you should definitely see this show. The Shreksual burlesque show featured incredible burlesque routines by Lord Farquaad and Fiona and Shrek and Donkey and everything you'd expect. But the most amazing thing it featured was a sad burlesque routine by Thelonious. You have not experienced burlesque as an art form until you have watched someone tearfully, slowly twerk. It was incredible. And I cannot recommend this show enough. If you are of the age that you can go to burlesque, go to the show. Support these people. I am here actually with two pieces of art this time. So we have Exit Pursued by Human and Homes, both by D. Renee Wilson. So a lovely turtle and a bear. And I thought that these were the perfect backdrop, purchasable by the way. $150 for each one. So you could own these. They're not already purchased. And they are the perfect backdrop to talk about Field Zoology 101. So this is a show that I just sort of stumbled into because it happened to be at the right time for me to go and see something. And in true to form, like the show in Tampa that I went to see, this was also a class lecture style show. So we were going to Field Zoology 101, and our professor, hilarious. It utilizes old school projector technology. So there's like an old school projector and all of these clear films that he puts on, most of which he's doodled on. And the humor is just top notch. And it was very, very, very enjoyable. And he delivers everything so seriously, even when he's talking about the most absurd things. And that is something I could never do. I laugh at the drop of a hat. So it would be nearly impossible for me to get through something like that. But he did a fantastic job. And I think I enjoyed a lot of the jokes. They're really good jokes. But one of them, which I'm going to spoil, which I think is my favorite joke, is he first is defining a field, because, you know, field zoology. And it is a projector, or the projection film just has a like line, sort of slightly wavy line that's meant to be the field across it. And he lays it down and then he looks at it and goes, oh, sorry, that's backwards, and flips it where there's barely any noticeable difference. And that one moment I knew I was in love with the show. So if you enjoy humor, it does get a little bit bawdy, so you've got to be ready for that. Not appropriate for children, but very funny. The next show I want to talk about is a darling gem, and I think is going to be one of my favorite shows of the festival. I'm just going to say it right now. So the piece that I've chosen is called Of Earnest Workers by Susan Fallows, and for $120, this piece could be yours. I've chosen it in particular because of the dice and the other game pieces, because Shifted, the show, opens up with them playing an absolutely insane version of Monopoly that involves also playing a bunch of other games. But the core of Shifted is that in this apartment or dormitory, there are two staircases, and taking the different staircases can actually transport you into an alternate reality or alter the reality you are currently in and totally change what you are experiencing. And so they end up in an alternate reality several different times. They're constantly changing. They're discovering all sorts of wild things about themselves and about what's happening. And it was so funny. I was talking about the fact that it has an improv heart. Not that the show is improvised, it is a scripted show, but the way that they interact, the way that they play the game, the way that they do the stuff clearly has improvisational roots. And it's very funny, it's very entertaining. It is a darling show. I think you will go in being like, this sounds intriguing. And when you get there, you'll be like, this was amazing. It's so fun. And like I said, I think it's gonna be my favorite. It's so delightful. I enjoyed it so much, and I am gonna encourage everyone to go to it. Please go see Shifted. It's in the Brown venue. It's a 60-minute show. You will have a good time. Please go see Shifted. And I'm gonna maybe end up at it again because, like I said, it's a darling show and I loved it. So to talk about the final show I'm going to talk about today, I am in front of Tightrope by Deb. I'm gonna go with Locks. Can't guarantee that that's how this name is said. But it is a lovely girl on a tightrope, and I'm going to talk about Fruit Flies Like a Circus Peanut. Fruit Flies is Fourth Wall Ensemble. They've been here several years. Their show is usually called Fruit Flies Like a Banana. It is a musical show where they do essentially dance mixed with classical music. And often you are helping pick the order of the show, so which songs will be performed. This one's a little bit different. Fruit Flies Like a Circus Peanut is circus themed. They have set up an aerial rig in Orange, which is wild. It's so cool. I don't know how they do it in 20 minutes, sorcery probably, but they do some aerial silk work. So they're playing a flute or a trombone while hanging upside down in aerial silks. I can't play a trombone standing on my own 2 feet on the ground, and I also can't hang upside down in aerial silk, so they're just really doing like double things that I cannot do. But it is really impressive. They're incredibly talented. You'll get a mixture of like circus music you probably know but you don't know the origins of, and they'll tell you about it, some other classical music, and some stuff that's a little bit more modern, but it's really fun. And it is an all ages show, so anybody can go see it and enjoy it. I highly recommend. And you can also buy this piece for $89.50. Very specific amount. And that is it. Those are my 4 shows for today. Link down there to the Virtually Fringe site where you can get tickets for these shows and all of the other amazing shows at Fringe. And I will see you tomorrow.